What's up, soul family? I just wanted to talk about um, healing sexual trauma today because I did get a request for this specific video. So we're just gonna see how it goes. Like, I might do two separate videos. I was asked to speak on healing, like healing childhood trauma, but I think it's all related, so we'll just see how it goes and if I can keep it in one video. So I thought that I shared this story before, but I didn't look through all my videos, and I thought that I could just keep this one focused on like my specific dream and what it means to me, and then how I healed from it. So I had a dream, like, throughout this awakening journey. It's been just like a roller coaster, just to say the least, right? And someday I will tell y'all my whole story. But I started receiving messages, whether they were downloads or just like tarot messages or talking to people, like whatever it was, right? That's how I received my messages. But in this particular instance, it was a tarot reading that I listened to online that said that I had an evil family in my past life, right? And something about a stepfather that was abusive. So that was, just to hear that, like, out of the blue with like no connection is, I guess you could say that it feels random, right? But that night, I went to sleep just remembering the message, but not really thinking too much of it. And this was at the beginning of like my awakening, or this period of awakening, which was like probably in October. This happened around like the end of October, I believe, and now it's January. So I had a dream that night that it was like me. I was in a house, but I was like the viewer of this dream, right? And it was a family that consisted of like a mom and a stepdad. The mom was like a brown lady, and then there was like a white man with like balding hair, right? I just remember that. So it was like parents, and there was two boys, an older boy who was probably about maybe 9, and then another boy who was like a little bit younger, maybe like 7. So this was a family, and they were supposed to take the kids on an outing together, like as a family. And so it kind of just fast forwarded to like them like leaving or coming back or something like that. So the mom had left with the younger boy out the front door, and the dad, instead of leaving with them, for some reason he came out of the bedroom with the older boy. And instantly I felt sick. Like, I knew that what had happened, right? I knew that he had abused that little boy. So the dream like then pans to me, like I'm now like part of the dream, like me as an adult, and or actually me as a kid, and I run to like my house, which ends up being like the same house that I had just witnessed all this, right? And so I get home, I'm by myself, I'm a kid, and I remember thinking like I'm home alone, and so I go upstairs to see like if anybody's home. When I go upstairs, I see like my stepdad is in the office. And then I noticed that my stepdad looks exactly like the dad that I had just seen in the other house with the little boy. And it was like a revelation to me, like, holy shit, I just ran out of this house from this, like, viewing this crazy incident, getting away from this man, and then now this man is in my house and he's my dad, like, he's my stepdad. So, and then I woke up, right? So, what I got from that dream was that my stepdad was the abuser. He was a molester and he abused that little boy. And that little boy was me in my past life. And that other little boy was my brother. I don't know, like, he was my brother in that past life, but I'm not sure who he is now in this life. But that fit like the message that I had heard that just that night before, like, to a T, right? The message had said that you have evil family members in your past life. Your stepdad was weird, and your mom was evil, and it also said like my siblings were also evil. In this dream, I didn't feel like my sibling was evil though, because he was also a victim, right? So I was sad to hear that message, and then I was even more sad to get that dream that confirmed it. And it was very clear, very lucid, and I woke up. I remember telling my mom. I called my mom and I told her, but then yeah, it was crazy. And then when I told my husband, I just got super emotional. Like, I just bawled my eyes out, and I cry like often, right? Like almost on a daily basis sometimes, a couple times a week, hands down. But I had never cried like this before, and I just like let all my tears out, and it just totally purified me and healed me, like, to be able to learn that information and just to make it like make sense in this life, right? So all my whole life I've always felt like I have had some type of trauma. Like I felt like I was abused when I was little. But my mom is like, no, that's never happened to you. You know, you were always safe. But we don't know if that's true, because our moms and our parents are not always with us when we're little, right? We go to school, we go to babysitters, we stay the night at people's houses, even family, right? So you never really know like what your kids truly go through unless you're with them like every second of every day, which isn't realistic, right? So I've had suspicions of family members, but like growing up, there's just things that made me know that I have had sexual trauma at some point in my life, right? But I never thought that it could have been from a past life, and it could have carried on to this life. So it just explains a lot of how I've been feeling my whole life, and just my experiences, right? Without getting too personal or too deep. But yeah, I just wanted to share that dream. I thought that I had shared this before in a video. It may have gotten lost in a message, but I'm actually not sure if I have, because this might be the first time. So hopefully this isn't too triggering for anybody, but I think it's just incredible to be able to access information like that from your past. So what I do with this information now is I heal from it, right? I learn like the reasons why I feel certain ways, and the reason why I've like the reason why this pain has like played out in my life, right? So that I can allow it to like no longer hurt me and no longer damage me. And so, like, when we acknowledge our pain and we recognize like how it's affected us and how it's impacted us like so deeply, like we're able to heal from it, right? So because before I was like, what is this feeling, right? What is this feeling? Like, it's literally like a monster inside of you and you have no idea like where it came from or what it is, right? It's one thing to know like exactly where your abuse comes from, but when you have no recollection or you black out or you just don't remember, like it's very hard. It's very hard to just function like to just be truly like happy, right? And it's hard to move on. It's like you can't heal what you don't understand, right? So once you understand the source of your pain and also like how it affects your behavior, then you're able to change that behavior because you finally recognize the root of your pain. So this all happened to me for a reason, right? And this information was brought to me when it was meant to. So the more you just work on yourself and however that might look, the more access to you have to your Akashic records, right? So also like our root chakra is our strongest chakra, right? And activating your Kundalini energy is just like the most powerful. So when we heal our root chakra, we become incredibly empowered and incredibly powerful, right? That's how you get your powers, and that's how you create magic, is when you heal, right? So there's other forms of childhood trauma, of course, right? I guess I can keep it on one video. Like, I wanted to also speak on the childhood traumas of, well, actually, I think I'm gonna make it a different video because even though it's all related, I just want to make sure that this message gets to whoever it's meant to, because I know a lot of people can relate to this and can resonate with this. So please leave a comment, like and share and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later. Thanks, soul family. I love y'all.